Welcome back to Mac Stories Unwind. I'm John Voorhees, and with me is Federico Viticci. Hey, Federico.
Hello, John. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm actually kind of seeing myself because I'm recording myself on video here. It's
Oh,
like a little
yeah,
experiment.
put the window in the background, so I am not gonna take a look at myself.
I did universal control, and I have it on my new iPad Pro 11-inch, sitting right below my main display.
Okay.
All
Okay,
right.
so tell me how do you like the new iPad? Now that you mention it, how
Okay.
is it?
It is wonderful. Yesterday I grabbed my iPad,
Mm,
walked out the door, walked down to a
okay.
coffee shop in town, sat outside, had a nice big coffee, and I was in the bright sunshine, and then I could see the screen perfectly because it's so bright.
Oh,
It's so bright. Now there is, obviously there are reflections because it was sunshiny out, and I don't have the matte finish.
you don't have the nano texture.
No, I don't. But it was perfectly fine. I didn't mind that at all. I didn't have glare, like reflections don't bother me too much as long as the screen is bright enough. And I found with the old iPad Pro, and especially with something like my MacBook Air, the screen would get just too washed out at a certain point if it was
Yep.
really, really sunny. And that's not happening at all with the iPad. In fact, when I looked at my iPhone, it was a lot harder to see than my iPad. So that was a nice little test. It worked really well, and the battery life is incredible. It's, of course, everything is snappier, especially Safari. It's
Of course it is.
it works
What
really
did
well.
you
I mean,
expect?
yeah, I mean, I can't say that I've used it a ton yet. Yesterday I was reorganizing our Mac Stories Discord in it. I did a
Mm.
little writing. I did some email. Just kind of like the typical day-to-day type stuff. But I haven't done anything really that's really taxed it just yet. I want to spend some time fiddling around with Logic, maybe Final Cut, just to see what's changed with those apps and see what they can do. I did drop into Logic long enough to test their stem separation tool, which was kind of fun. I did that, which works really well. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it.
That's nice. That's nice. I'm glad that it works outside for you. I know that that was one of the things that you were concerned regarding canceling your nanotexture
Right.
order. So I'm pleased to hear that. So before we get to our picks, so I've been working on a couple of surprises for you, John, that I will share in the near future. Maybe here, maybe somewhere else. We'll
Okay.
see. But I just wanted to tell you behind the scenes that one of my surprises
Yeah.
recently caused a small fire.
Oh my gosh, Federico, what are
Very
you doing?
look very very small. Okay.
Okay,
Like,
well, any fire
like
is not a good thing, Federico. I'm not. I don't
at
think.
three,
I mean,
at
a small
3
fire like
a.m.
at 3 a.m. Oh my gosh, a small fire like lighting a match,
like
or a small fire like there's a campfire
no,
in the corner of my house.
like a how can I put this without spoiling what I've been doing? First of all, it was not my fault. I got a faulty power supply for
Oh boy.
something
Okay.
that I was connecting to power, and right in front of my face at 3 a.m., I heard a loud pop,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and then I saw smoke
yeah, yeah.
coming out of it.
Oh my gosh, and that kind of thing smells terrible too.
Oh my God, it smelled horribly. You have no
Yeah,
idea.
yeah.
And all of these, like, obviously, my heart started racing. Thankfully, the power didn't go out. So essentially, I blew a fuse in the power supply,
Right.
and obviously, the fuse saved the all the other components of this surprise from getting fried.
Oh, that's good.
Thankfully, and the power didn't go out in my apartment. Also, thankfully, and it was 3 a.m. and so there was this smoke in the office, and Sylvia was sleeping, and the dogs were sleeping,
I
and
thought you were going to say in your
and
bedroom.
and my heart started racing. I was like, what am I going to do now? Like, so obviously I unplugged everything from power,
Yeah,
and I was like, okay, I cannot open the window because I have the alarm system turned on because it's
sure.
night. And so if I open a window, the alarm is going to go off. Is this thing still is this thing actually burning or not? And it was like this horrible burnt plastic smell.
Yeah.
So I decided to just keep an eye on it for like 30 minutes. I stood for like 30 minutes just staring at this power supply, making sure that nothing was going on.
You
That it
unplugged it,
was
I
just
hope.
no, it didn't happen. So I was just there until 3:30 a.m.
Oh,
staring at this thing. I was like, is it still smoking? Is it not smoking anymore? And when I was convinced that it was not smoking at all, it was just that initial
yeah.
sort of a little cloud of smoke. I was like, okay, it's probably just, just a fuse inside. I'm gonna check it out tomorrow morning. But then I woke up the next day and she was like, hey, what's this smell? I
I was
was
gonna say
like, oh boy.
that this whole thing didn't wake her up.
No, it
I'm
didn't.
amazed.
Yeah, she's been having better sleep lately, I guess.
Okay, I guess
Um,
so.
and I was like, and I, oh boy, did I hear from Sylvia
No, I
the
bet
next
you did.
day. Oh my God. And so she was like, I know you were eventually you were gonna cause some kind of fire. It's always you and your things and your cables and your power
Right, right,
supplies.
right.
And so this surprise I eventually fixed. It was just a fuse in a faulty power supply
Yeah.
that I got. Sylvia had me install the replacement that I got the next day outside.
Oh my
'Cause
gosh, you had to make sure it was
she was
okay.
like, now you're going to go outside. You're going to fix this thing outside. I don't want to see
Oh.
it indoors anymore until you promise that it's fixed and fully
Are
functioning.
you buying some weird knockoff power supplies from like
N-
AliExpress or something?
Actually, no.
Okay.
It was actually like a reputable brand,
Oh,
even.
huh.
Yeah. So this will be clear in the future, but I just wanted to tell you
All
this
right.
is
Well,
what happened
I'm
two
glad.
nights ago.
I'm glad that nothing bad happened.
Mm.
And given that time, I mean, that's pretty close to when you normally would be going to sleep. So I'm glad it didn't
Yeah, but
happen when everybody was asleep.
I was really enjoying my time playing video games, and so that's why I was staying up late.
Right.
And yeah, but I will tell you more about this very soon. There was just a
I know. I
small
know.
accident, the small bump in the road, but everything is fully back up and working again. So that's
I
nice.
am just trying to get a few little hints out of you, and I haven't learned anything that I didn't already suspect. So, yeah, I don't think I know what the surprise is. I don't have any idea. But power supplies, yes, cables, power supplies, those
Mm.
things are a very typical Federico mix. And
Yeah,
yeah,
and look, a power supply failure. Like after the fact, I started googling these things. I mean, unfortunately, it is quite common that
oh
you get a faulty unit, even from a good brand. If you just get a faulty unit, and it wasn't my fault. Like I was
right,
not doing anything. I was using obviously like a power socket in the wall. Like I was not doing
sure,
anything special. It just happens sometimes,
yep,
and
yep,
when you get unlucky, it just may happen, and it's scary because like a power supply failure, it is a scary thing. But thankfully, there's a fuse inside that's gonna save all the other components of whatever kind of equipment you may be dealing with,
right.
and so yeah, nothing else got damaged, and so I'm happy. But yeah, faulty power supply,
Mm.
quite scary.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and the thing is too, with a lot of this stuff that I don't know, they can, they draw a lot of power, these things, these
They
power
do, they
supplies,
do.
especially for like
This
video
was
game equipment and that kind of thing.
this was a an 1100-watt power supply.
Federico, 1100 watts?
Yeah.
You're going to need to install a nuclear power plant in your apartment or something. 1100 watts? What are you doing? That's like an air conditioning unit or something. That's like probably running your heating in your house. All right. All right. Wow. Wow. All right. This
Yeah.
is really
Hey,
some
look, I
surprise.
downgraded, okay, to 1,000-watt power supply.
Okay, good. I'm sure you won't burn your house down with 1,000 watts. Wait till Mike hears this. He's gonna he's just
Oh, actually, Mike knows. Mike
oh,
knows already.
I was gonna say that the color would drain out of his face if he heard this story.
Yeah. He started laughing and he said, "Of course, this happened to you," or something like that.
Of course. Oh,
Yeah, and also he said that Sylvia is right, and
well,
she's rightfully concerned.
well,
Yeah,
I know that I would be in trouble if I'd done that too, and I probably would
hmm
have been sent outside with my equipment
Yep,
to plug it in
yep,
the next
yep,
time too.
yep.
Well, all right. Well, good luck, and please don't burn your house down.
No, I won't. All right. All right. So do you have picks for me, John?
I do. I want to talk about Retro Game Corps, which is
Oh
a
yes.
wonderful, wonderful YouTube channel by Russ from Retro Game Corps. And Russ is I guess he's based in Hawaii, and he does a
Yep.
lot of fantastic videos all about retro gaming. And boy, his output is pretty incredible. There's a new video, it seems like every time I check YouTube, and I've been working my way through the back catalog because I've watched this channel for quite a while, but
Yeah. Same.
kind of
Same.
on and off. And I've definitely become more of a, I guess maybe a super fan of the channel, just because so much of my interests are similar to what's covered there. Now that there are a lot of handhelds coming out right now, and Russ covers a lot of those on the channel, but also covers a lot on emulation and a lot on kind of the front end software that people are using to do a lot of retro gaming, and increasingly doing more hardware reviews that aren't necessarily strictly for retro gaming, but could be used for any gaming. And what I like about the channel, I think too, is that it has a website component too, so that usually when there's one of these, he does these very long setup videos for new hardware a lot of time, like optimizing settings for different
Hmm.
systems that you're emulating and that kind of thing. But then there's always a written component which has kind of the step-by-step instructions on how to go about doing it and links to everything. And I find that to be such a great combination for learning more about this area, because it can be, depending on the hardware you're using, it can be fairly technical. It's not, you and I are pretty expert when it comes to Apple stuff, but maybe not so much when it comes to Linux handhelds or Windows or whatever it happens to be. And so it helps to have somebody who's done this a lot. And I just find these videos strangely very soothing and calming.
Oh, I was actually gonna say that. Oh, okay. So it's not just me. Yeah,
Oh, no, yeah,
absolutely.
and it's funny because you sent me this meme that you found on Reddit about the channel, and I think it's that basically was making that point, because I think it's very true. Like, I find that sometimes watching one of these videos in the evening is, like, perfect unwind time for me, to
Yes.
almost to the point where I was like, a couple of times I've fallen asleep watching them and thinking, "Oh, are these boring videos?" And it's not that they're boring, it's just that they're, like, so chill that I, at times, if I'm really tired, I just fall asleep. But they're just relaxing, and especially if you're kind of one of those people who are into nerdy breaking things down in a very methodical and nerdy way, I think that just really speaks to me and calms me down in a way at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's actually the my favorite part about Retro Green Corps and Russ's work is that I find those videos the perfect combination of informative and useful and strangely relaxing in a
Yeah,
way. And I think it all comes back to the fact that Russ has a fascinating backstory that he shared a few years ago on YouTube. He has this incredibly unexpected background where before doing YouTube videos, I believe he said a couple of years ago, there's a video that you can find. He served in the US Navy
yep,
for a couple decades, I think. And he actually, before doing YouTube, I believe he started doing the YouTube channel during the pandemic, I want to say. He wrote and published three cookbooks,
right, big
uh,
cookbooks.
big
Yeah,
cookbooks. And that actually makes a lot of sense because Russ has a way to communicate and to express concepts in a clear and understandable way.
right,
It
right,
doesn't surprise me that he's coming from a similar tutorial background but obviously in a different scene, which is the publishing scene.
right.
And yeah, I'm a huge fan of Retro Game Corps, and like the output is also incredible. Like there's a video almost every day, I want to say,
Yeah,
and yeah, and I think also like what I appreciate is that Russ doesn't shy away from sharing criticisms and negative opinions about products that maybe don't meet his expectations.
right,
I think it's a lot easy these days to find similar YouTube channels that receive review units and tend to be extra positive about all the products they receive. Whereas Russ, what I appreciate is that you can tell, like it's the opinion is coming from a person who actually cares,
Mhm.
and it doesn't matter if is gonna negatively review a product, as long as it's is honest opinion, and like is no matter whether a company sent him a review unit or not. That
Yeah,
is something that I appreciate,
yeah.
and it's a good quality to have for sure these days.
I love it when he breaks out the Contra
The
D-pad
contrast
test.
test.
He uses it for all D-pads, and it's like
It's actually a very good
it's
test.
a very good test when you watch if you've watched enough of his videos, you say, "Oh, yeah, this one's got problems."
Yeah,
You can tell right away if the D-pad's
you
not
can
right
tell.
quite
You
what
can tell.
up to snuff. But, yeah, and they're
Yeah,
actually very rewatchable. A lot of times what I'll do,
they are. Yes.
if there's a video that's very technical for something that I want to do myself, sometimes I just watch them because I just find them interesting, and it's not like hardware that I have or a system that I'm doing anytime
Mhm.
soon. So I'll just watch them and then that's it. But a lot of times I'll watch one in the evening, and then maybe that weekend I'll rewatch it. I'll kind of go through step by step and do some of the setup stuff myself. Which there was a good one on the Legion Go recently that had some good tips about doing things like optimizing the sound quality, and I've also used it for setting up emulation station on my Legion Go too. So there's a lot of nice tutorials there if you're into that kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right, Federico, what's your pick?
So I wanted to mention a couple of things. I wanted to direct our listeners to the excellent Moonlight app that I've mentioned on Mac Stories this week for streaming PC games from a PC on your local network. And Moonlight, it's the client that you can install on your iPad, on your iPhone, on your Android device, on your Mac, on your TV if you have a compatible TV. And this allows you to stream games from your gaming PC on another screen. And it's got excellent quality, especially if you have a really good Wi Fi network at home. It works with game controllers on Apple platforms. Been having a fantastic time using the combination of Moonlight on my iPad and Sunshine, which is the server running on my gaming PC. You can find Moonlight just about anywhere these days. Go check out the website. They have documentation for all the things you can set up. But honestly, like I just left all the defaults enabled on my PC with
Mhm.
Sunshine, and in Moonlight, I just selected 4K resolution, 120 frames per second, and that's what I've been using my iPad Pro
Nice.
to stream games from my PC, and it's excellent. The other pick that I have that I wanted to, this is a show that I've mentioned on the show before. It's a TV show, but it just ended. Like the series finale just aired a few days ago, and it's Young Sheldon, which ended with season 7 on CBS, I want to say. And it was like we knew without spoiling what happened in the last 3 episodes. If you watched Big Bang Theory before, you should know some aspects of Sheldon's young life and certain events that happened in his life that were mentioned previously in Big Bang Theory. And we knew that going into this series finale, there was going to be one big character related change that needed to happen. And it did happen. And I think the showrunners did an excellent job delivering that event gracefully and thoughtfully.
Mhm.
And the finale was also quite satisfying. I think it ended on a really positive note. And what I want to call out from this show is the incredible development that we have seen in the character of Sheldon rather, Georgie, played by, I want to say, Montana Jordan. The character of Georgie just went through this incredible glow up in the series, sort of becoming a father, being married, and becoming like an actual like selfless individual in the family.
Mhm.
And it's no surprise that, of course, Big Bang Theory and Young Sheldon for CBS have been a cash cow over the years. They've been some of the highest grossing, and most watched TV shows in the network. So it's not a surprise that they are going to launch a second spin-off of Big Bang Theory later this year. It was just greenlit a few days ago. there will be another spin-off, in fact, based on Georgie. I'm on be on the lookout for I believe it's called Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage
Hmm.
on CBS later this year. So the Big Bang Theory / Young Sheldon universe will continue, but of course this will be a new series focused on the characters of Georgie and Mandy, and I'm actually pretty excited about that. And but yeah, if you've never seen it, go watch Young Sheldon. It's a lovely show, very different from Big Bang Theory, similar in certain ways, and 7 seasons that I purchased them all on iTunes, the old-fashioned way.
Oh
But
yeah.
I'm sure if you are in the US, there is some CBS-related way to watch those.
Yeah, I'm sure that there is too. All right, that's great. I want to mention too that, this week is Paper Mario and the Thousand Year
Oh yeah,
Door release week. And I don't have it yet. Obviously, as we record this, we're a couple of days away from it being out, but I cannot wait for this game. I'm really looking forward to it. I've been playing a little bit of the original, and it is such a great game. It really has held up well over the years. And from what I've seen from the early reviews, that I haven't really read closely because I really don't want to spoil anything, but the overall sentiment appears to be that that Nintendo's done a very nice job with this one. So
yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I would like, before we go, Federico, to remind people that they can rate Mac Stories Unwind in Apple Podcasts. We would appreciate if people would go out there, if they are enjoying the show, and rate the show, because it does help other people find it, and we would appreciate everyone doing that. Plus, if you're interested in Club Mac Stories, I'm going to put a little plug in for it today, because Club Mac Stories is one of the ways that we're able to bring these shows to everyone, as well as all the stuff on the website. We have 3 different tiers. There's kind of a plan for any budget. And basically, what it is you get more of what you like the most about Mac Stories, including an early version of this very show. If you're a club member, all club members get that. And all you have to do is go over to plus.club to learn a little bit more about the plans we have and all the perks, because there are a ton of other perks at all different levels that we do for everyone. I won't go into all of them here, but check it out sometime and just see if it's the kind of thing that's for you. All right, Federico, that's it for this week. You can find the two of us over at macstories.net. We are on Mastodon too. Just go to vitici.macstories.net and johnvorhees.macstories.net to follow us there. And we're on Threads and Instagram. Federico is at Vitici. That's VITICCI. And I'm at John Voorhees. JOHNVOORHWS. Talk to you next week, Federico.
Ciao, John.